Is our story one of doom and gloom, or is it meant to be one of hope? COVID brought you down? Have you found that there's an epidemic of despair in society today? We have hurricanes and wildfires and continuing wars and devastation, anti-government sentiment, even riots and rebellion. The inflation, the prices. A bank a few weeks ago said the recession predicted for 2023 will be stronger than first envisioned. Last Friday, another bank said it would be lighter than first envisioned. Does that make you feel better? Or do you wonder if they know what they're even doing? Does it make it worse? COVID protocols are being loosened and the numbers are going up in North America. But that is what the kingdom of the world is experiencing, and it creates despair, melancholy, misery, anger, despondency, and gloom. But is our story one of doom and gloom, or is it meant to be one of hope? Hi, I'm Pastor Bob Sim of St. Paul's Presbyterian in Burlington, Ontario. Glad you're here. When we try to manufacture hope on our own, it typically leads to a burnout. God's story, though, is one of a spiritual hope that intersects with our physical stories. The abundance of God created in creation says that there's no scarcity in food and resources if we all share. I was listening to a couple of people talking the other day, and one works for a car dealership, and they said this person wanted to buy a new car, and they had $70,000 to put down on it. And they said, the salespeople said, great, we'll deliver it in February or March. Well, is that scarcity? Well, the person from the car dealership said what the issue was that during COVID, all these manufacturers of the parts and everything started to slow down. And now they have to build up their productivity again. So that's why it's taking so long. It's not that they're scarce. It's just a result of what happened during COVID, and things will improve. See, God's abundant grace is available no matter how good or how bad we feel. Our stewardship shows us that we just take what we need, and when we share the rest, there will be no scarcity. All these parts of God's story to us bring about an abundance of hope. The creation, the grace, the stewardship that we can have when we follow his ways is really an abundance of hope for this world. So, can the spiritual reality of an abundance of hope intersect with our physical need for hope? Well, I think it does. It happens when our stories mingle with God's story. I like that word, mingle, because it shows an intentionality from both sides. It takes a decision on our part to want to mingle with God's story, and it takes God's permission for us to mingle in his story. Our stories become one, and in there is hope, an abundant hope. It doesn't mean that there will be no further disasters or wars or etc., 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 but it means that our attitudes when faced with them will be filled with hope and not despair. Hope for the present and hope for the future. If you want to see God's providence of hope in the present, we look to the past, and we can read Psalm 146. It shows how God provides through creation, and then in justice areas, he shows how he provides through his grace. Future promises can be found in Revelation 21. So whether the long range or the present or even the past, God's faithfulness is central to allow us not to have a story of doom and gloom. God's story of faithfulness helps us in dealing with COVID. We do our part by getting vaccinated when we're eligible. We keep distances and wear masks when necessary. We mingle our story with God's story, and we live in hope. Much different than living a story of worry. God's kingdom is about abundance, exemplified by Jesus and the way he showed grace to people, how he lived out righteousness, and how he calls us to join him. Our hope is built on nothing less than Jesus and his righteousness. The Father's faithfulness is in and through Jesus. Our future is guaranteed through the promise of Jesus. We just need to choose to believe and to follow Jesus. Are you ready to mingle your story with Jesus and stop being pressured by the doom and gloom of the world? Well, then would you pray with me? Would you say these words after me? Jesus, I am tired of being pressured by the world into thinking that all is bad, scarce, not good. I want to have a story that is not one of worry. I want it to be one of hope. Jesus, may I mingle my story with yours and live in the Father's abundant hope. Thank you for your faithfulness to me. Amen. I pray that that will be a blessing for you today, and that you'll be able to live without the pressures of the world, and to be able to find hope in so many different ways that God has already provided for us. Well, our song today is presented by the St. Andrew's Ancaster Worship Band, and it is entitled, Great is Thy Faithfulness. You know, it was written by Thomas Chisholm in the 1800s to recognize a lifetime of God's faithfulness to him. See, nothing spectacular happened to him that he had to write a hymn. It's just a constant provision of hope in a normal life that was lived for and because of Jesus. Just like Jesus does for you and for me. Please listen or sing along. God bless, and we hope to see you next time.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever wilt be. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join with all nature in eloquent witness to thine great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, thine own dear presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Blessed